What are the most common type of DCF false allegations in Massachusetts? That question of what is the most common type of false allegations by DCF in Massachusetts is manyfold. And the reason for that is because every family is different, distinct, separate, and apart. The facts in every case are going to determine the false claims being made and who's making them. And we have as many families in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as there are false allegations. It's crazy. Every story is going to change and be different. For example, you got a sexual abuse case, they can be the most compelling and most difficult cases. But yet when you peel back the onions, if there's false statements made, there seems to be like a track of false statements, not just one. And when you peel back the onion on a physical abuse case, there also seems to be different tracks that you can go down where a child's been alleged to have been physically abused or is possibly being victimized by serious physical abuse at a later time. But the most common types of false allegations come out of neglect because they're the most common filed report with DCF, numbers-wise. An example of this was, I had a case with a young woman who had a couple children, and her son was playing sports on a Saturday, and all of a sudden her ex, the father, showed up, and the child saw the father and said, Mommy, I want to go with Dad today. And so the mom made arrangements so the child could see the father, much to her credit. But the deal was the father had a substance abuse problem, which mother knew. And she made sure that father was supervised by father's sister, which was the aunt of the child. And the aunt came over and promised that she would watch both the father and the child at all times. So there was somebody to supervise the father. The father called up the next day and said that his sister left the home to go to work early that morning. Now you got the father with the child, and the father was going to take the child to school unsupervised. So the father takes the child to school. School sees the father with the child. Father's not supposed to be unsupervised with the child. The school files a 51A with DCF. And DCF interviews and does its investigation and supports the allegation against mother and father because the father shouldn't have been alone with the child. Well, mother did everything she was supposed to do. She made sure there was a caretaker, meaning the aunt, who was sober and clean and who could watch both the father and supervise the father with the child. The problem was the mother had no idea that the aunt was going to leave early in the morning the next day and that father would be unsupervised, which was not the agreement. So of course DCF, they learn about this, they do their investigation, and they feel as though it warrants a neglect allegation against the mother. At the fair hearing, it was proven that mother had no problem allowing the aunt to supervise the visitation. And the aunt had promised everybody that she would watch the father and the child, but failed to do so. That was not the mother's fault. Mother had done everything she was supposed to do. She set up a proper caretaker who was sober and clean, with no problems with drugs or alcohol or any other problems. And that person just dropped the ball. So in the end, DCF, much to their credit, used wisdom and common sense, which sometimes is uncommon, and unsupported this allegation, overturned it, and reversed the allegation against the mother for neglect, because it was a false allegation. And much to DCF's credit, everybody went home happy.